So the first thing we're going to be looking at is proposal, because the basic thing is when you try to get a job on the online media space, you submit a proposal, so the person goes through it and, oh wow, I'm interested. Okay, let's talk. You have a talk and they approve. You send them your invoice. They make the payments. After they make the payments, no, you send them, they agree. Sorry, let me revert it again. You're trying to get a job, you send the organization or the individual your proposal. They go through your proposal and they're like, oh, we're interested, and we're interested in doing this for the next 1 year, or we're interested in doing this monthly. You edit your contract and send them your contract. They sign the contract, you sign the contract, you send them your invoice. They make payments. After they make payment, work starts. Did you get me? Your proposal first, they accept, you discuss, you agree, you send the contract, they sign, they make payments, and you get your job done. Except in your contract, you specify that payment is made at the end of the month, or you say 70% payment ahead and 30% payment later. It's fine. Whatever you agree in your contract. Sha, me, I do payment usually at least if it's web development, 70/30. If it's social media, you pay ahead. So 70/30, and then or whatever, and then you get the work done. And then after you get the work done, you always send reports. And when you're done with the job or with them, you send the termination contracts that, oh, we're done. This is very applicable if you're doing a specific project task. Maybe the project is elapsing for a time, but sometimes you're working with organizations that is a long-term contract, so you might not ever get to send a termination contract. So today we're going to be looking at how a proposal. This proposal is an inbound marketing proposal, and I'm going to share it with you in Microsoft Word, because it's editable. So everything is editable. Feel free to edit. I'm just going to show you key aspects that you need to modify for whatever it is or whoever it is you're sending it to. And then please modify it to suit you. Don't copy and paste. Modify it to suit whatever it is or the organization you're working with. You don't write a proposal without researching about the organization or the person. I will not see you. There's no way I will see you without researching about you. I won't. We don't have so much time today. I wish I can share with you a very interesting story of how I got my job in the National Assembly Clinic without knowing anybody. Literally, National Assembly, when they're hiring, especially for internship, for stuffs like that, you don't see it in the papers. They don't announce anything. They just hire. So I didn't know anybody working there. Nobody told me and nothing, but I got to work there and I led my team. In my internship set, we had optometrists, we had pharmacists, we had dentists, we had, and all of that. And I literally was their rep from moving there without knowing anybody. Like, it's a very interesting story that maybe someday I'm going to share with you, or I'll share it in my podcast and then I'll share you the link, or YouTube, and you go and watch it. But it's very interesting. But one of the lessons I want to draw from there is you do not meet people, you don't go to people to offer value without researching about them. The same way they won't come to you without researching about you. Most times they'll check you out. So, one of the things we're going to do for you guys and the form you're going to fill is we are creating a job bank on our website. So, we're going to put you there, put your picture. So, make sure you put a good headshot. We'll put your picture, we'll put your brief bio, we'll put the skills that you're proficient in, and we'll put your social media icons as well as your phone number and email address. And then we are going to promote that whole page widely. So people can go there. We have an email list of about 14,000. So people can go there, and if they need any of your service, if they check you out, and we'll also put a link for them to download your resume and your portfolio. So they will check you out and say, okay, I'm interested in this person, and they will contact you for a job. And so when they contact you, they might tell you, send me a proposal. Let me see what you can do for me. So you send them the proposal and then they agree, and then you send them the contract, and they sign and you sign, and then they make payments and the job goes. So we're going to be there vouching for you and putting you out, because we're going to be teaching you how to close sales. In as much as we're also going to be doing some direct one-on-one positioning for you, placement for you, we are still going to do this for you as well. Do you understand? So that your role is not dependent 100% on us. You can actually get and meet more people irrespective of your location. Nigeria, not Nigeria, we have you covered. All right. So in a proposal, like I've explained, you first need to start with researching the organization. So on this proposal, maybe what you have here might be social customer care proposal, or data entry proposal, or social media management proposal, or virtual assistant proposal, whatever it is, please put it there. This proposal is created by, you put your name, or if you're an agency, you put your agency name, and prepared for exclusively for, you see, I said do a research for that person or that organization. So put it here. The first thing you start is situational analysis. It's just like when you pitch. I've pitched a lot for my business. When you pitch, the first thing you usually start with, most times, most people that win pitches, they don't usually start with their names. They usually start with the problem statement. So after the problem statement, they now tell you their name and the solution that they are trying to offer, right? So what is the situation analysis? Oh, Techy Train Company is a business process outsourcing company and has grown so quickly in the last 3 years. Da, 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 da. Put what you have observed. What is the problem? But don't go and write plenty story for them. Be as brief and as concise. If possible, you can just have a paragraph, then you list what you observe from what you've seen about them. There are two ways to do this research. For some of people that will come to you, for example, a lady approached us last week and spoke to our head of growth, Dr. Yuna, and she said, please, can you send me a proposal for, we need to go online. We have an industry, we're in the food industry, and we've been in business for over 20 years. However, we've not leveraged the online media space. But we feel and we understand now that there's so much we can do. We have a very big industry in Calabar, and so we want to do that. And she's like, okay, interesting. Do you have a website? No, we don't have a website. Oh, wow. Do you have any social media accounts? No. So you've not had any experience with the online media space? No, we've not. Okay, fantastic. Ma, you're likely going to need a website. You're likely going to need this and this. So those questions she asked her helped us create a situational analysis to say, okay, XXY Industries has been existed for 20 years and has grown, but their growth is limited because they are kind of limited around that Calabar or Cross River, or people that know them by referral take them outside their state. However, they have the potential to go global because they have products that are in need globally. Things like sesame seeds, things like cassava that the world needs generally. So you need to be able to interpret your situation because this is where it comes. They need to understand that you know the problem, or you understand the problem, or what they need to solve. Because an understanding of the problem is the start of the solution. So they want to be sure that you know what the problem we are facing. So if you can't interpret the problem, how am I sure you have my solution? So you start with situational analysis. If your bad be bad, you're even writing long, please, you should not pass one page. Then here you talk about your advantage. Why are you the ideal person to solve this problem? Oh, we have worked with over 50 companies in the last 2 years across Africa, Canada, the Caribbeans, this, and we have in our report, we've helped XXSY company grow their online visibility by 1,000% in 3 months. We've helped this. Why are you that? Why are you that? Why should we hire you? Oh, I have a strong background in content creation and my content generates engagement results. I also develop copies. Copies are contents that actually convert. And so I'm proficient in video editing. A mixture of the world is currently trending towards video marketing. And so a mixture of video editing and this. Yeah, I'm also proficient in product photography. With me on your team, you don't need to hire an external product photographer to take product of your product. This will save you cost. I'm like a one-stop shop for you. So what is your advantage? Why should they hire you? This is whether you're writing. I'm saying this senders company because I know some of you tomorrow might have an agency. So if it's you as an individual, it's fine. But as an agency, please have it there. If you later, I'm going to be teaching you how to set up accounts on Upwork. When you go to Upwork, unlike Fiverr, where they will come and find you, on Upwork they'll put their jobs and you will send your proposals for them to actually give you the jobs. So that's where you need these proposals, and you need to sell yourself properly. Those are the key two things. After these two things, these other areas, this strategic marketing focus is optional. Because this is a marketing proposal, we are now trying to detail how we are going to do it. We are going to do content distribution on social media, we're going to do search engine optimization, we're going to do strategic partnership. You as a virtual assistant, you can have strategic our strategic plan. You can have, I'll schedule your meetings, I'll send reminders every day on what you have for that day, I'll do your tasks, I'll make sure all emails are read and important. What are the things you're going to do for them? Strategic tasks. You have that there. So it doesn't have to be all these pages. All these things you can delete and replace. I'm just showing you what you need to do. Then now you have proposed deliverables and time. For example, your social media manager, you tell them first 3 days we have to do a research online media to see where you are and where you need to get to. We create a strategy plan. We take 7 days to create content, send the content to you to approve. Once you approve, we go ahead. If you don't approve, we'll review what you don't like and make corrections and send it back to you. Once you approve, the post will be scheduled, and once they're scheduled, you'll be notified and the post will go live. At the end of every week, you will get an analytics report on what the results of social media have done, and then you're entitled to a meeting once every 2 weeks for us to discuss the analytics report. Detail it there. What are the proposed deliverables and timelines? This is where you detail how often you want to interact with them. This is where you detail what you want to do. Day one, this, day two, this, day three, this, day 5 to 6, this, day seven, this. Please put it there. Put it there. If you want to put it on the table, this is month one, month two, month three. It doesn't have to be on the table. It can just be, you can just, what do they call this thing now? I want to, it doesn't have to be a table. You can just put something like this, all these dotted lines, and outline what you want to do. Or you can just put a table with two columns, and put deliverables in one column and the timeline on another column. Please feel free. That's why I said you need to know how to do this Microsoft Word thing because you use it a lot. After that, you put your fees and financial. This is where you come and tell them, oh, the fees for this service is $100 monthly. And so you can say initial payment you pay this amount, at the end of the job you pay this amount, or full payment is required before service. This is where you put it. This is, and this financials, fees and financials, this is where you put it. Then here you have terms and conditions. The terms and conditions are not as much as the contract. The terms and conditions are, this one is very important. If there are additional deliverables requested outside the scope of this agreement, you will tell them that they will pay. Do you understand? You tell them anything beyond this agreement you will pay. And then if you have any other terms, you can put it here that you might want to specify that outside the contract. You can now list them here. You don't call me after 5, after maybe after 7 p.m. I don't work during weekends. I don't work on Sundays, or I go on 1 hour break. Just detail your terms and condition here. Then this is the acceptance. So once they sign the acceptance, you can decide to put this acceptance for them to sign or not. If you don't put it, it's fine. When you send the contract, they're still going to sign the acceptance. That is how the proposal is. That's how a proposal is. This proposal is 9 pages. Yours doesn't have to be 9 pages. It can just be 3 pages. It can just be 2 pages or 4 pages. You don't have to put too much to It depends on who you're working with. So if I were you, I'm going to give you an assignment today. So if I were you, I'll just identify out of that assignment, research them very well. Start with five, maybe 5 proposals per day, but research them very well. Take the notes, develop their proposals, do the ones that are similar and send. The ones that are similar and send. And we'll be talking about that sending area later. Let's look at the contract we before we take our questions. So this is what the contract looks like. The contract is just basically they've agreed to your services or whatever it is you have in your proposal, and so it's now time for you to agree on what you have to pay or what you have to do. Please, if you can see my screen, tell me you can see my screen in the chat box. Just tell me yes if you can see my screen before I proceed. We have just a few minutes left. Okay, fantastic. All right. So this is what it looks like. You have the cover page, just like you have the other one, prepared for, created by, just like you have the proposal. Then here, um, this service. So you put your service contract, maybe this virtual assistant contract is entered and agreed upon, you put the date and text, it just replace wherever it is. The sender's name is you, the client is the person you're writing to. Then you list the services you're providing and the description, and then the deliverables. Remember when we talked about the deliverables, the scope of work, list them here, not the full details. But if you want to even copy that table, what you put there, please copy and paste here. Then here, all invoices are due on monthly basis or on the first of the month or whatever, you put it there. And then these are the terms. These terms, you don't really have to edit it, but I beg you, read it. Read it carefully to be sure if there's anything you want to remove or add. In these terms and conditions, you have retained rights, pre-existing intellectual property, ownership of deliverables. This is where you want to discuss. Somebody asks the question, oh, if I did a job for a person and the person says I should not use them without their permission, this is where you want to ask. So if you can add it there that I will be using, I would love to use your the job I've done for you on my portfolio. Is it fine? Like you add it there that you have the right. Who has the right to intellectual property? Or is it a sole ownership? Is it in sole ownership of those people? That's the organization. Then you talk about confidential information. I didn't talk to you about discretion in soft skills. Discretion is a very important skill, especially in the virtual space. You're going to be accessing confidential information, trade secrets of organizations and individuals, sometimes going through their mails or their inbox. And most times, people don't like people going through that, majorly their social media, not because they don't want, but because they don't want people to see the chats they've had. You might be managing for a man, and then the man is there checking so many ladies, and is there on his inbox, all the flimsy things he's saying. It's not in your position to go and be telling his wife. It's not in your position to go and advise him. Just do as if you did not see it. See the one you can see and understand and move on. Do your tax and do your report and leave. Don't go and break anybody's marriage or talk anything that is not your business. You have access to emails, you see stuff. Do not talk about don't even discuss it with other people. Discretion is very, very important. Confidential information. Don't take a company's trade secret because you work with company A, they were selling food. You now went to company B, they're selling food. You tell them, company A, this is what they used to do back end. Though. They used to put that curry. And so if you put that curry, your own will work. It's not good though. Don't do that. Just encourage them from your mind or any way you can. Discretion is very important. See, customer confidential information. So please read it. Non-disclosure. This is the NDA I told you about. Right to disclosure. In this right to disclosure, you can include that you, service provider, has the right to include um, templates of her services on the portfolio. So don't just copy this, go through it. When you go through it, edit it to suit you. So when you're now working with any organization, you can now tweak it for that particular organization. So service provide warrants. And then there's a place where I think I wrote that this is governed by the federal governing laws, Federal Republic of Nigeria. So if you're not in Nigeria, change this to the country you're working with. Or when you're working with an organization, you might want to say this is governing your own country, like where you are, your own jurisdiction, not their own country. There was a contract that was very good. I was working with an organization, a retainer. The issue we had was they said it was governed by their laws in Lagos. And if there's any issue, we're going to do a trial in the court in Lagos. And I said no, because in my own contract I had sent them, I had put Abuja, and they said no. I said, why will you put Lagos? And they said, just sign it now. Are you the way you're doing? Is it that you're trying to think that something will happen? And nothing will happen. It's just for formality's sake. I said, because of that formality's sake, it's important we do it right. So they now said if we are coming there and the case is judged, all expenses will be borne by me, by our organization. And I said no, because I looked at the work we're doing, because it was a retainer agreement and we're looking at a retainer for no less than 3 to 5 years, the price we gave them was extremely discounted. So I looked at it and I said, this is not worth it. I told my team, this is not worth it. If God forbid we run into mistake with this organization, and we now have to go to court. This money is not worth it though. Ha. Yes, we need money, but please let's not do this. And we told them if they won't change it, we won't accept. And they said they won't accept. And we say thank you. We wish you all the best in your endeavors. And we moved on. So it's important. I'm talking about a deal that if they had signed a retainer, they're going to pay for a year and it was going to run into millions of naira. But we said no to it. So you have to get to the point where you say no, and you have to start from the beginning. If you do not set your boundaries correctly, when you start with that, you begin to grow with that. It will be hard for you to adjust. And the organization is a big organization that if they plagiarize or there's any mistake, they will sue them without mercy because they know they have the capacity to pay. And you, that is the one that created the content, you will not be in trouble. Do you understand? So you need to pay attention to this. If it's a small organization now, you can overlook some things because if you, but then some people know before they come and charge you or sue you, they know you have the capacity to pay or something, and so you might run into trouble. So please, you have to know how to manage expectations and know how to say no to some things. Don't worry, what is yours will eventually come. Then talk about severability, independent contractor. So that's it, and then make sure they sign here and the name sign here, you sign here, they sign here, and then you have your name. So whenever you're done with this and you have this date, whenever you edit and you want to send this contract or proposal to anybody, please convert to PDF before you send. Now I'm going to quickly show you how to convert to PDF for those of you that don't know. In Microsoft Word, go to File, go to your file here. Under File, click on Export. When you click on export, click on create PDF or ASP file, and it just tells you where you want to save it, and you just click on publish. You save. You have saved that thing in Microsoft in PDF already. You don't have to go and look for an app that can convert Microsoft to PDF. You don't have to. It will automatically convert it for you. Don't worry, I'll try to make available replay of this because I know you might need to watch it again. I know I've been talking a little bit fast, so you might need to watch it again and again. So I'm trying to put the lessons in the learning management system so you can just go there and you can have access to it later if you want. So that's it about contracts and legals. Contracts and legals put boundaries, help you set boundaries in whatever it is that you're doing in this work, because it can be really dicey. It can be really dicey and messy, and if you're not careful might frustrate you sometimes. So these boundaries will help you, and they can make you refer back. Oh, we saw this is what you said, and you didn't do this and you didn't follow through, and it will actually keep you protected. Thank you very much.